Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. Wanted to jump on. I was looking at more transits here, and I wanted to chat a bit more because I realized as well that we didn't really talk. Yeah, we didn't really have the chance to talk about what we were feeling. I think in the last video, the last Astro chat, I was like, "Hey guys, how are you feeling?" And then I was just like blabbing on. So I didn't actually get into the chat. I know it's fairly early on a Sunday morning, but I want to jump in and see. The most notable transit actually is that's the Saturn going direct. This is huge. This is literally days apart from Pluto going retrograde. Last night I was like, damn, like what is going on? Like there's something so particular. And I really think that it is partly the Saturn going direct. Yeah. So, hey guys, how are you doing? How are you guys feeling? Hey guys. So yeah. Not much. Hello. Good. How are you guys doing? Rebecca, what are you going through? Rebecca says, not great, LOL. How do I move this difficult energy? Feels like torture. Saturn is intense. Saturn is karma. Saturn is history. It is past lives as well. It is. When it goes direct, it's intense. This is going to be, to be exact, here later tonight, it's going to go exact. So just keep an open mind here, guys, with what comes up. Things may get wild. They may get wild. We were talking about this in the last live, but I'll hit on it again here. Cool. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. LLL, Neek. Very cool. So, yeah. Oh, this is turning on now. Okay. So, we have 1%. I got the charging eyes. Yeah, there's gonna be a climax here. You want to keep really an open mind here tonight. 10:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Try not to take things like kooky crazy seriously. Okay, let it roll. There's a song that's coming to mind. It's an old. No, it's not old, but it's a few years. James Bay. I think it's Let It Go. Let it go, just let it be. Why don't you be you and I'll be me? Something like that is the way it goes. In the meantime, yeah, it's Mercury retrograde and this shit won't charge. It's literally like on up. So, this is the planet of karma. It's making its turn, right? It's going back, but in the sense of saying it's going to be speeding back up to its original speed. This is going to be an uncomfortable time. It can be, right? I mean, we're looking back on the decisions that we've made. We're looking back on the decisions that others have made. It's important to stay grounded and not keep like too involved with what's going on also around you. You want to stay grounded. It's not just you. You want to also remember that. Keep focused on what your values are as well during this time. And there's gonna be a lot going on maybe around you. Like you're observing, like, you know. So Rebecca, did you check out the last live we did on the Astro chat? we're talking about that kind of thing with the Libra and Scorpio energies. So yeah, I mean, it can feel frustrating. Saturn is like, you know, that energy of like, you can't do this and you can't do that and blah, 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 blah. And it's a little bit like intense. It is, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Yeah. The moon will then also move into Capricorn shortly after, day preceding. We talked about that in members, and so we did a few videos on members today. We actually did the weekly, so that's an update as well. Those of you who are interested in the weekly breakdown, the members videos are up, and so that's also a great way if you want to help support the channel and help support the channel continue in the way that it does. Members is a way that you can do that, and it is a heads up here. So yeah. So anyways, yeah, I wanted to get on. It's just like a weird world right now, you guys, you know, and especially as a light worker, it's like, so maintaining an attitude of gratitude as well during this time can really help combat these more challenging Saturnian frequencies that may tend to arise as we have this Saturn moving direct. Yeah. How many of you are feeling the Saturn direct? But yeah, we did the weekly breakdown, guys. Let me get the link for the members videos, if that's of interest. You can also, of course, find them on the channel playlist, weekly readings. And so members get a playlist there to get all the exclusive content that is for members on that playlist. I'll send it through. We did the week, so yeah. If you feel guided, of course, and yeah, I do appreciate you guys joining members. It does help support the channel, so thank you guys for connecting. I want to say thank you to those who do join members and have, and the many ways in which you know, connect. Just even showing up here is just really, really lovely, so thank you guys for connecting. Always each person to Shen, of course, in every capacity. Sometimes we take breaks from readers, sometimes we take breaks from tarot, sometimes we take breaks from, you know, that's natural. So always use your personal intuition, you know. Just because a reader posts a video doesn't mean you have to watch it as well, of course. I think it's fair to reiterate that. Just want to say that as well. Not that I'm like pushing you guys away, but I'm just saying, you know, if that's something in the back of your mind at any point in time, it can be with whoever, however, maybe even, yeah, whatever it is. Heck, maybe it's a message for me. Maybe Spirit's like, nah, so, yeah. Let's get into it. I guess the point is never do something because you feel that you should or that you're pressured to do it, you know? That's the point. It's all energy. It's such an illusion, like, oh, I'm gonna do this out of, like, you know, feeling like I have to, and then it's like, that's the frequency. So that's the seed that's planted, you know, so it's cleared, you know, so. I'm gonna put the link here to the playlist for weekly videos. Those of you who are members, you can access those videos there more easily. Great. It's very touching, you guys. Let's clear the energy and ground. And yeah, so what else is what? We talked about Scorpio here, energies that took a little step back, and it's a little bit weird because we literally, like, I don't know, I find this like weird, like the ruler of Scorpio, Pluto, literally like just went direct, and we had Venus in Scorpio, and then dipped into Sag, and then and then it's like, now it's like, wait, so what? It's a little weird, and we talked about this in the last video, the last live. Something was like weird about that to me. How many of you were in that live? I don't want to like bore you guys like, oh my gosh, you talk about it again. But I feel like it's something, you know, maybe it's another light worker message, you know. These are gonna be Rebecca, do you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart? Yeah, definitely go check out the video if you feel guided. Yeah. So, hello, Dominico. Yeah, I found like it's weird. I feel like the planets and the archetypes, they have their language, they have their voice. And they really kind of go, they bob in and out. They have their like experiences, their series. They have their storylines, and like sometimes they're muted. This is a theme that I really love to work with, though, in general. Like, when it comes to astrology, like when I do, let's say, from the very get-go, like astrology period, I feel like it's really helpful to look at it from that vantage point, like looking at your birth chart as sort of like a song, and the signs, the archetypes are sort of like, even the planetary placements, they are, but overall the archetypal frequencies of the 12 signs, they're kind of like notes. And so right now it's like, I feel like we had Scorpio here for a brief second, then it dipped out. So that's what we were talking about in the last video. And yeah, definitely if you got a lot of Scorpio or Libra in your chart, go check that video out. But let's backtrack, clearing ground. What I'm getting here is, it's almost as if, it's weird, like with these Libra energies, I've started to feel, I talked about this on one of my bike rides with the live Astro Chat, like I feel like it's like a critical energy. I don't know what it is, but I'm having this feeling of like, it's like stagnant. Something is stagnant, and I don't know, maybe it's because we have so many planets in Libra right now. How many of you have been feeling this? Possibly. Let's clear it around. Like, I don't know, like, I'm thinking of things in ways that I like don't usually think like that. Like, you know, and it must be all the Libra, because Libra likes to, like, you know, it's that qualitative energy. I have a lot of air in my chart. My Gemini, my Mars is in Gemini, you know, like obviously analytical, but not like this. This is like another, like, that's why, yeah. Like, I'm just waiting for Scorpio to reappear. Like, bruh, like, can we, like, put the pen down? What? If you're waiting on a private service, by the way, from me, I feel it's partly Mercury retrograde, but it's also, and I just can't push the energy. I can't push the energy. So, yeah, I can't, and I feel like the green light is not yet. So, you know, that's a side note. It's also the Libra energies, I feel. So we got to move through a few things here, and yeah, so I feel like I'll jump back into the privates if you're still holding out on something here, private service, until when we enter into more of the Scorpio frequency. By then, we should definitely, side note, thank you guys for your patience as well with the universe right now, because it is a lot that is moving in and out and moving through, and That's partly why, like, private readings put a lot of pressure on me, and I've been phasing them out, because it's weird, because it's kind of transactional, and it's like, you know, typically people expect things within a certain time frame, but I can't force that, and that's just part of it. But most people have been very understanding, like, you know, they've been really understanding, like, we understand, like, whatever is meant to be. So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you guys for your understanding with that. And trust me, the few times that I've tried, it's not good. It's not good when it's like, if I don't feel it and I force it, it's just like, sometimes we think something is better at a certain time, but there are messages, like, you know, and this includes for myself. Like, sometimes I feel like I cannot do it if I'm not in the flow, you know? So even, yeah, it's very rare that I can even read on myself. So, like, with the tarot cards, I mean, we're always reading on our own energy, right? This is our intuition, in other words, right? We're always channeling with ourselves. So the conversation with your higher self is that point of, like, are you in alignment? So obviously I'm very sensitive to energy, but when it comes to reading on my own energy, like, it can be very, very hard, and I definitely can't force it. So, yeah. If we try to force it, it's more ego. So, yeah. Yeah, so what did you say, Ryan Joseph? But yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, this Libra stellium is just like, what? Like, I do not even, like, actually care about that, bro. Like, why? This is me with myself. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of the Virgo energies that we were talking about, like, a few weeks back. Remember, we were talking about, like, the critical, when we had a lot of Virgo and Libra overlapping. So, but yeah, it's a weird time for me personally. You know, but this is where it becomes personal to you, like, your personal relationship with astrology and the transits, your personal connection with the transits. Like, this will bring up how you naturally maybe channel certain frequencies. Like, it's a check-in point. It's really cool when you have a stellium, because it's kind of like a really strong dose of that. It's like, you know, yeah, it's kind of cool, but it can get intense if it's something that you do have, you know, maybe work with. It's like, well, is that something I need to re-examine? Or, but I'm trying not to get hard on myself with that. It's kind of hard, yeah. I mean, 3 planets, and it's not just 3 planets, they're all conjunct right now. Like, literally. I feel like there's a lot going on around us too, and so we got to keep an open mind. The hard thing though, and I think maybe, you know, you guys share in the comments, like, maybe it's an empath thing. I feel like when we have these times where there's just so much, like, air in the chart and not enough water and whatnot, this is where it gets kind of, like, really hard for the empath to, like, work with the energy at hand, because it's like we know, but, like, we can't say it. It's, like, strange. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'd be interested to do, like, a composite chart reading with my chart right now and the chart, with my chart and the chart right now. Yeah. So, because that's kind of what it is, like, right now, it's like synastry. Those are the transits. But, it's just, like, kind of impersonal. I feel like weird. I don't know. I'm really, really waiting for Scorpio season. I'm telling you, like, anybody who's, like, not into astrology and, like, stumble upon this video is probably like, oh my god. But no, it's really, like, it's like vitamins. It's like frequency, you guys. That's how I see it. It's like it's frequency, and people who are very sensitive to energy, that's what, yeah. So they're aware of that. Like, there's a lot more happening here, and so, you know, la-di-da-di-da, Mercury retrograde is one thing, but there's so much at play, and we gotta just keep an open mind. That's the beauty of astrology, is that it helps us understand like what is going on right now, you know? So that's your chance to kind of be like, how do I feel during this time? As we have 3 planets in Libra, you know? How do you guys feel? If you were to sum it up, like, in a very simple sense, like, you know, how many of you have a lot of planets in Libra? I barely have Libra in my chart. That's the thing. Maybe it's a combination of that. Let's clear around. Like, it... Sherry, you have a lot of Libra, right? It's... Sunny D, I think you have a lot of Libra as well. But, yeah, like, it's, It's interesting to contemplate this. You know? The different factors. Like, I am Scorpio rising. Libra cusps in my 12th house. Well... yeah, it rules my 12th house. Sherry says, oh, I do. And what is it like? Like, it feels like, I don't know how to describe it. It's reminding me a little bit of the Aquarius. Like, you guys remember that whole Aquarius thing we had going on? Oh my god. That was one, there are like standout moments. That Aquarius stellium, you guys remember that back in like early 2021? That was a whole moment where I was like, I feel cold and wet. You guys remember that? Fish out of water, like, that was a whole thing. And then it was like, now I feel like it's similar, but it's not quite. It's like a little warmer than that. We still have Venus and Sag. We have, you know, but we still have the sun. Think about it. The sun is the main luminary source, right? It's fire energy. Naturally, in the air sign of Libra, it kind of cools up with a Venus, you know, and, well, Mars as well. Mars is a fire planet. So it's like kind of just like a really loud, like, I don't want to say like a dissonant energy, love and light. Like, if you have a sun in Libra, this is right. We're talking like the particular alignments right now. And this is my personal perspective, right? Hence synastry, hence composite charts, composite, you know, frequencies, hence chemical reactions. It doesn't make it bad. It just means that it's a certain type of reflection. So, but like, yeah, we're talking like sun and moon conjunct, both in Libra. With a Mercury in Libra as well, and retro, like, there's a lot going on. Like, I think I have the right to feel weird right now. I'm just kind of feeling like that. Like, as someone who has a lot of fire in my chart, naturally, that's why, like, Venus and Sag was like, you know, it was a moment of, like, yay, something. But then it's like, then the moon moved out of Scorpio, and it officially became, like, Scorpio was like, crickets. And now it's like, I don't know. It's almost like, it's interesting. I see the signs as characters. Like, I feel like Scorpio's feelings are a little hurt. Weird way to talk about astrology, but yeah. And it's also part, of course, like, the fact that Mercury's in retro so close to the sun and Mars, like, in the next few days, it will part. We just had a really, like, a close, intense conjunction, an exact conjunction of the sun and Mercury, so that's part of it, obviously. Like, but as Mercury and as Mars and the sun move out together and move farther from Mercury in retro, that influence maybe of like yeah, that's gonna move forward. So, but yeah, like, I don't know, I feel like Scorpio is kind of lonely. It's like, hey, that was weird. How many of you have Scorpio in your chart? I wish I could do the poll, but I can't do it on the phone. I started the live chat on the phone. So, like, you know, it's a moment. Yeah. Let's look into the rest of the year. I love looking at the chart visually, like looking at the chart itself. See if you're looking at a even because even one sentence is one word. Because even if you look at like the transits list, it's not reflective really. Like I gotta look at it visually. Or I don't have to, but like it's helpful. Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Scorpio. We're gonna see that on the 10th of November. We will have Jupiter, Moon, and Saturn all in Aquarius. So on that date, we'll have a simultaneous Aquarius and Scorpio stellium. Okay, let's continue. I'm hearing, I don't have time for this. Yeah, I don't have space for this. Okay. All right. So Moon in Cancer on the 22nd of November. The Sun is in Sag 0 degrees, conjuncting that South node. I wonder, is that like collective karma? Like, holy shit, that kind of sounds like kind of intense. It's like, here we go. That's like a portal right there. I feel like it's, yeah, we're gonna, could be past life energies as well. I'm hearing mountains are before us. I hear that. Okay, so, whew. Remind me of the last stack in the past life energy. Pick a card reading. You guys, we have so many readings. I hope it's not like overwhelming. Like, oh my god. Are you guys like feeling overwhelmed? Because I literally have more readings that I've recorded that I just haven't posted as well. Oh my god. Tarot addict. Tarot addicts on the loose. Tarot addict on the rise. Let's clear it. Oh my god. Is this like that Cancer reading where it's like, you guys remember that reading for Cancer? In the title it was like, Cancer, stop the cycle before it gets out of control. Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay, so let's continue. No, I'm serious. I got like a few more pick a cards, you guys. They're recorded. I'm just like embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. But like, it's the messages are coming through. Like, you guys, I just don't want to like overwhelm, you know. So, you guys, I've been seeing 7-7 everywhere. Alright. Let's get these, like, transits, y'all. So, Sun conjunct the South node. Yeah, that sounds like some kind of major, like, collective decision we're making, like, portal of, like, maybe a little bit of, like, awkwardness. Like, I feel like everyone's gonna be, like, naked. It's like, wow, I see you down there now. I don't know what that was going to, but... like, yeah, I don't know. Like, we're gonna get to know people at that time. I hear that. Maybe very particular message. Mercury here will be at 26 in Scorp. Mars in Scorp. Truth Heart says, I watched the whole 10 hours. Mind you, I fell asleep and come... Truth, honest heart. Honestly, I fell asleep, Nat, like many times. Nat, I fucking missed work, Nat. I fell asleep. Oh my god. I watched the whole 10 hours. Mind you, I fell asleep a couple times during the live. But had to re-listen to what was missed. Ah, so cute. Ah, just so sweet. Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to it on and off. I'm like, listen, like, it's interesting because sometimes I'll do the reading and then it's like, there's almost this like bubble or cloud of like nothingness. And then it's like you take time and then you come back to the reading like a few days later or a week later, and then it's like, I'll get into this jam where then I'll have perspective. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I understand what that's relating to. You know, it's kind of interesting, like, prospectively. But in terms of perception, it's almost like when you channel, then you're in that bubble. And I wonder if it's the same for viewers. Like, when I'm actually channeling the moment, do you guys feel... I mean, maybe you must, but, like, it's interesting. Because I'm in that bubble. Sometimes I feel like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, that's the thing about channeling. You have to be really free with that. But until, you know, a few of these really major sort of like so-called predictions came through, like especially I think Corona was like, yeah, the string of that was when I was like, all right, I'm not fucking crazy, bro. Like this, I mean, because there were times where I'm like channeling random stuff, like if you were to listen to it and like, yeah, but it was one of those moments where I was like, okay, there's, yeah, so but it takes time. Like at first you feel like, but that's where, yeah, it takes time, and there's a reason for why messages come through, maybe at the time of the video as well. So it's interesting. Channeling is interesting. I didn't really know that I was a channeler necessarily, like in the beginning, but yeah. And then it was like I was hearing things. But I guess I always kind of channeled. Like I never really looked at the cards in like a strategic way, like in terms of saying this means that and that means that. That's why like in the beginning when people were like, hey, can you do tarot classes and stuff? Something about that feels like not right to me, at least yet. Now maybe it will change my mind about that, but I just feel like it's so personal. It's like telling someone how to like smell, you know? How to smell, how to taste, how to touch. Like I feel like that's not my place. Like your relationship, tarot is just the medium. It's like you have to understand your relationship with the concept of tarot even altogether. Like, you know, like tarot to me is not, I don't see it as like a fortune telling thing. It's more like it's a point of reflection. So that's why when people are like, oh, tarot, so you're like a gypsy fortune teller, it's like, I don't know about that. It's like, okay, you can look at something in any way. It's like saying, well, you can look at, it's all your perspective, right? Ultimately. So even with astrology, that's why like people who will kind of judge astrology and these such things, and they're like, yeah, so like, oh, astrology is like always telling everyone, you know how many times people say, I don't believe in astrology? And I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, you know, because like I read this book and it said, oh, I'm a sun sign Aquarius and like I'm supposed to be this and that, but like how is it possible that everyone's a sun sign Aquarius is like the same like that? I'm like, yeah, that's a good point, because they're not. So many factors more at play. It's not just a sun sign. It's not just, people think, oh my god, you know, astrology is about like just being a fortune teller. It's like not, bro. It's not like some hocus pocus, like let's just tell you you're an Aquarius, like. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Let's clear it. But that's more like, I feel, I mean, it's natural, right? I feel partly to blame, so-called, is like the way we've sort of conventionalized astrology and made it like cool. It's like, it's not about just being cool. It's like the way we've sort of made like organic so expensive and like kind of like a lifestyle image, rather than like literally just like being healthy and like, you know, like why does a bar of chocolate need to cost like $20 kind of vibe? I don't know. There are things, but there's it's like something like that a little bit. Like it's not about like the theme or the concept. It's about what it really is. And like I kind of want to make astrology dorky again. And like let's take it back, you guys. Let's really talk about what this really means. It's not like I'm a sun sign Aquarius. I'm supposed to date like, you know, hop on hop off dude at the trolley ride station because he's like a Leo and we're compatible. Virgo, I mean, as well. It's like this is not the point, guys. Like. And I feel like this is more like traditional thought. Some people are straight up scared of astrology. You know how many times, like, this was like, yeah, I mean, scared. Like, you do astrology? Okay, gotta go. It's like, are you alright? Are you scared? Like, really, really, really scared? Like, but maybe it's like, because, you know, maybe, who can say? We don't know. Maybe it's a religion, you know. But it's interesting. It's really interesting. I'm going to turn that stove off. So, yep. Yeah, like, yeah. Like, people framing stuff, like, you do this, so you're this. It's like, is that, like, the easy way you want to understand, like, your world as well? Do you understand your world like that? Like, really? Like, you want, I don't know. Like, I personally don't like to judge things right off the bat, but I am a Sag moon. You know? What's so funny is when you look at the birth chart of the person who's a skeptic, a so-called skeptic, and you're like, I understand why you're like such a fucking skeptic. It's just, like, if only you like saw it. Like, bro has like 6 planets and like Saturn ruled 10th house. It's like in the sign of like, I don't know, maybe like Virgo, Taurus, Libra. You know, Saturn conjunct like Sun, maybe situations with Mercury, like maybe some Aquarius. I don't know, like. And then you have people who just want to combat everything. I mean, that's a different story, kind of. But maybe. Anyways, I feel this is generally changing, but I still get annoyed. Even at, like, these generic books. You know? Like, let's learn about your Leo moon man. It's like, you have to, like, see everything. It's like saying how to bake a dish with like 2 ingredients. Like, you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, this kind of thing, yeah. I feel like, but we gotta have a way to work with that. I've been thinking of maybe like, I don't know, making an app at some point, but it's like, that's like a whole path, and I just don't have the vibe with that yet, I guess. But that would be really cool. And I'm not really talking like a general like, wow, you both have Yang sun sign. Like, because there are apps that do that, but yeah, I think I'm being kind of critical right now as a Libra Gents Stellium. Yeah, so when the time is right, like whenever, but because I just feel like, damn, it'd be so helpful, like, because I don't know, it's like, is this like practical, like, for me to talk about this stuff all the time, or like, what if you had an app that like helped you integrate astrology into, you know, we'll see. But anyways, all right. Oh, it played. So, yeah, but yeah. So we've got some interesting astrology, right? I was reading about this the other day. By the way, guys, I watched the movie Hocus Pocus for the first time with my sister the other night. How many have you guys seen that movie? So yeah, I saw it for the first time. Oh my god, you guys! Like, the neighborhood, is that really shot in Salem? Like, wow. Oh, it reminded me of Boston so much, you guys, like, so much. And then I was looking at like the astrology right now and how there are some themes here coming up that are akin to, you know, some pretty turbulent times here. Okay, so related to Salem, right? Neptune being in Pisces, I was reading something about that, which explains these weird times that we're kind of maybe having right now, like a reason why we're here right now, like as light workers. It's clearing around. But like, wow, like it just is so like, there's like a magical vibe to Boston. And I haven't been to Salem. I can only imagine. How funny. Oh my god. Because I went to school in Boston, and it's funny, I'm looking at this website and it says the name of my roommate in Boston. It's interesting. So, but oh my gosh. Has anyone been to Salem? You live near Salem, Surfing Maui girl? So you're not from Hawaii? Or maybe you're from Hawaii, but now you live near Salem? Near Salem? Interesting. Wow. The fall there is just amazing. It's just the East Coast vibe, the upper northeast, just something really particular. So. Oh, interesting. Wow. What? Oh, wow. I've been looking at my astrocartography map. So, yeah, I've told the story before. It's really interesting. I feel like, I had an immediate connection to Massachusetts. It was just like, immediate, like, so. Anyways, it's clearing around. Yeah, and you know, when I meet people who are skeptics and whatnot, so-called skeptics, it's kind of like, it's become kind of like just a point of perspective. Like, it's interesting, you know? And yeah, so it's interesting. New England, born and raised, really? Roman numeral 3 Neek. Oh, your home is Hawaii. Interesting. Did you like it, Surfing Maui Girl? Did you enjoy it? If you don't mind me asking in the public chat, how did you get to Massachusetts from Hawaii? Like, is it the type of thing where you're like, I would never want to go back? Like, Linda. Yeah, I know, right? Guessing Maui. New Hampshire. Oh, never been to New Hampshire. I've never been. You know, I didn't go any farther north, really. From Boston, but. Oh. You know Paia? Have you ever been to Paia, Maui? Such an interesting place. So, yeah. Oh. New Hampshire, Massachusetts. Do you enjoy it? Surfing Maui Girl? Wow. The Philippines. Never been. There's just like something. Oh, you've been to Paia. Been to Paia, yeah. It's interesting. That place is really, really cool little city, cool little town. Interesting. It has a connection to the Pleiades. Lemurian, right? Willie K? Who's that? And Atlantis, right? I was gonna say Arcturian. Yeah. Willie K? Who's that? I saw Owen Wilson in Paia. How funny is that? How interesting. Willie K? Oh. I've been looking at my astrocartography map, and because I'm just thinking about, you know, this next step, like, and I'm currently on a Sun Square Ascendant line, which is, I don't know about that, but that does run along the East Coast for me, so, in general. So, yeah. Even Boston, actually. But I had another line moving through there that buffered it out a little differently. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be going to Salem soon? Being pulled there. You say, Surfing Maui Girl says, I remember my past life Salem Masters. Wow. Like, I've never been, but I'm so, like, curious. Like, when I even just seeing the movie was like, oh my god, like that's my element. Like, what? But I do have a Sun square. I don't know if it goes exactly. Wait, where's the paper? I wrote this out. Yeah, I wrote this out. They say you usually don't really want to be around a Chiron line. Well, that's always... Chiron is healing, right? You can't be afraid of, like, certain things, you know? Here and there, but... Because, yeah, like, I've been thinking about international travel, but then I'm like, but I feel like there's gotta be something in the States, like, somewhere that I feel like I can really, like, connect to. I don't know. Where did I write this down? Oh, right. I printed it out. So, 1 second, guys. Wait, give me a second. Yeah, but look into your astrocartography. They do say you want to work with a specialist on that. I am not yet a specialist on astrocartography as I feel it. Still have to just kind of like keep working with this. So definitely like, you know, talk to someone who knows a lot about it before you make a decision based on astrocartography. I feel like, yeah, a lot of factors will go into play with that. Yeah. But for me, Salem specifically, I have very interesting, similar planet, similar lines to where I went to school in Boston. And I did have a Sun square ascendant, actually, running through there. But yeah, I left Boston. Even though I really loved it, I visited New York and I was like, wow, like, I really loved New York. And so I was there for some time. I was drawn there. And anyways, let's clear around. Yeah, so, but, what we're gonna say... I feel like if you leave a place, it's kind of like there are reasons, you know? So. Hi, Mandy Lynn. Good night, Ryan. Really? You went to Salem as a Girl Scout. You did not want to leave. Oh my gosh, like, seriously. I feel like it's got this vibe. You know what's so interesting? Yeah, I got some major lines going through New Orleans. Like, very particular lines going through New Orleans. Yeah, I've been thinking about it, Surfing Maui Girl. The Boston accent. Mandy, you've been to have you been to Salem? Yeah, I would imagine. So, like, it was weird because even just with Boston, it was like I was in a cab for like 10 minutes and I was I wasn't driving, I was in the cab. It was like 2 a.m. It was dark outside and I was there when I was like kind of young, going to a leadership camp. Anyway, so we drove through Boston to get to this island, and so just that 10 minutes of driving in the dark, I was looking out the window. I'm like, I love this place, and I was convinced I wanted to go to school there. So I applied to all these schools in Boston, and yeah, so and I've never been to Salem. There's a reason for everything, like, you know, at certain times if you're not in certain places. Like, I was gonna go to Greece. I was this close. Instead of moving to DC, like, I was not planning on moving to DC. I was actually, yeah, I was gonna go to Greece, and then this whole thing happened where my sister was gonna join, and then my parents were gonna join, and then it just ended up not happening. So, reason for everything, but yeah, and then what was why? Then we went for like something in New York, and then we went back to DC where my sister was here, and so I was like, all right. But so, but yeah, what were we talking about? So yeah, there's a reason, like, for everything. Let's see. Like, I guess, unless I'm in the totally wrong place at the wrong, like, sometimes I think, because I got some pretty karmic shit going through DC. Like, right now, yeah, I got the South Node, I think, well, I got my nodes. I have my nodes in DC, and I have the moon, and then I've got Saturn. So it's like, is that like, you're kind of like not making progress? It's kind of like South Node, North Node, and then it's like Saturn, moon. That's Midhaven, Icy. It's like really fucking karma. I don't know. Or it's just kind of like past, present. Like, it's definitely about transformation, maturing, and I can say that that's happening quite a bit here in DC. But I don't feel like myself. I don't feel connected to the city. Like, love and light in many ways, but I realize there's a reason why I'm here, and I'm grateful. There's, you know, love and light regardless. But I just feel like this is not, this is not like my story kind of vibe. Like, you guys know what I'm saying? But it has its side, it has its like allure, you know? I'm still not feeling really sure of where I want to move, which is why I'm kind of like, well, I'm not feeling the inclination enough to move, so I guess Spirit does want me to kind of sit back here for a little bit, and then, so, but, yeah, got some interesting stuff running through Luxor in Egypt. What else? Yeah, really interesting places in the U.S., like Louisiana, I think. Different places. So, all right. Well, anyways, you guys, this was fun. I'm really excited for Halloween. I think I got something through South Carolina. It's clearing around. What else? Tennessee, somewhere in Tennessee. Different places. It's interesting. Yeah. What else? I feel like if I went to Salem, like, I wouldn't want to come back. Like, that's just like my thought with that, like, immediate thought is like, yeah. So. Yeah, but I guess we just gotta keep an open mind. There are a lot of transits right now taking place, you know? Gotta keep an open mind, I guess, with where we are to continue. Sometimes, you know, we think it's time or it's not time, and I remember it was right before the lockdown happened, and I was like, what am I doing here? Like, in easy, like, I need to be, like, moving already, like, isn't it time to move? And I did a reading, and it was a very, very clear reading for myself that I did. Sometimes it's very clear. And the Hopi Indian tribe came through. They were like, yeah, don't move until April. If you're thinking of moving, don't do it until at least April. So I waited until April, and that's when lockdown hit. I was like, all right, so here I am. Yeah, but it was a blessing in disguise, I think, in a lot of ways. So, but yeah, always use your personal intuition. Like, sometimes we don't understand, like, you know, how many of you are in that situation? How many of you are literally in the situation that I'm in with the move? like in a lot of, yeah.
It's 7 o'clock.
I feel like Spirit has, like, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. Like, there's a reason, yeah. So, lighten up different parts of the grid, I guess. You know, we've talked about this before. Like, does it make sense for all light workers to all be in, like, you know, like light worker central? Is it about just being in Bali? Like, I don't know. There's a reason why we're in the places we're at, you know? So, gotta keep an open mind. You guys, this was really fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll jump back into astrology later in the day. Thank you guys for your support. I'm so touched by you guys. Thank you for connecting. And yeah, let me know what you think about these pick-a cards. If they're a lot, if they're helpful, hopefully they're helpful. Hopefully it's not like blah, 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 blah. You know, like overlapping, extracting, and whatnot. So hopefully it's always carrying the light forward. So always a reason for why, like, you know, if I'm channeling, it's like I feel like there's a message, right? So not necessarily easy. Life of a channeler. Yeah. So, but that's what it is, and we're grateful. So thank you guys for tuning in. Love you.